this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the truth on our thoughts. These are going to be things that no one has told you, but if you begin to apply what I'm about to share, I think it can totally transform your life. Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you the truth on your thoughts, understanding the deeper level, what is happening at an electromagnetic level, and understanding how this influences our reality in general. Now, this is something I recently have been studying more because I am into a book that is called Reality Transurfing, and it's a book that was written by a quantum physicist in Russia. His name is Vadim Zeeland, and part of the book is understanding it has to do with understanding that there's an infinite number of parallel realities that exist, that we don't have to create our own reality because it already exists at a certain frequency. And it's about understanding, there's a part in there, a big part of it actually, that's about something called pendulums. Now, pendulums are thought structures. They are thoughts that we think are our own, but many times they are the thoughts of the collective conditioning, of social conditioning. And think of it like this: anytime we may be for or against a certain sports team, anytime we may be for or against someone running for president, what happens is we link up with other people who also are thinking the same way, and these thoughts correlate together and creates a momentum of whatever that thought is. So we may think, oh, I'm having my own thought. Maybe someone cuts you off in traffic. You're like, oh, I'm mad that person cut me off in traffic. But a lot of that emotion may be also you literally driving into other thought forms of people, the thousands of people that may have been on that same freeway before that may have also been cut off, that felt that negative emotion, and you may be also feeling that. So it may be you resonating subconsciously and linking up with those thoughts, and then that being something that kind of in a way becomes a part of your own energy. So the thing with pendulums, this is the metaphor, it's called pendulums, it swings back and forth. Whether you agree with it or disagree with it, if you agree with it, you feed it. If you disagree with it, you also feed it because you're adding energy to it. So the key is understanding our thoughts in general and the power of our thoughts. And what I'm about to share with you is something that may totally change your life. So this is what it is. This is what it's all about. So in general, let's look at it like this. This is us as a classic stick figure. And what happens is we have these thought forms. These thought forms can be little thought forms, big thought forms like this. So we have these thought forms, and as we think of these thought forms grow. Now sometimes what will happen is we'll think about something so consistently that becomes something that just continues to grow around our energy field, because we have a toroidal field that goes around our heart and one that goes around our head. We have an electromagnetic energy field that goes all around our body. Now, when we consistently think of certain things, we think, oh, those thoughts, I'm thinking them. They're invisible. Well, they are invisible. Invisible just means we simply don't see it with our eyes. Doesn't mean it doesn't exist, because there is a grid or a pattern around reality, around our bodies, around the earth. And when we are consistently thinking thoughts, these go out into that grid. And many of them will stay around our body, especially the ones that we continually think about. This is why sometimes a lot of times, when it comes to success, it requires focus, because it's literally we are growing those thought forms, and when we just do it a little bit and then we focus on something else, what happens is those thought forms begin to eventually die out or dissolve because we're not giving them enough focus. So anyways, we have these thoughts. Now what happens is, say we have other people. Also, these other people are stick figures. And what we do is they also have their electromagnetic energy around their body. They have thoughts they're thinking. When we're thinking these thoughts and we go and talk to other people, if someone else's energy affects us, what that means is we vibrationally resonate with whatever they are projecting, because the only way somebody can negatively affect us is if we are of the same vibration of that person. And if we have thought forms within ourselves that are also of that same vibration. Now the thing is these thoughts are literally things. They're just not visible with the eyes, but it doesn't mean that they're not real. Now the thing is these thought forms will continue to manifest and to attract certain things to us depending on what vibration they are, how continuously we think of them. And when we go out into the world, we may see thousands of other people, we may interact with other people, and we are bumping around against other people's thought forms, and we are resonating with other things as well. This is why what you put out is actually what you get back. What you put out, once you think of, you have a certain vibration that's within your body that you are feeling, and when you go out into the world, that is being projected out, and other people are linking up to it subconsciously or consciously, and that is affecting your experience, or it's causing certain conversations to come up, certain opportunities to come into your life. So this is about really being aware of our thoughts in general and understanding there's a lot more going on than just our thoughts that we're thinking, and then that is it. In the same way, there are billions of other people on the planet who are also thinking thoughts, and there are certain concepts, these are what are called pendulums, that I was talking about earlier. There are certain concepts that have a lot of momentum with it. So for example, if you have a thought that says, I'm never going to be successful, I didn't go to college and get a degree, so in order to be successful, that's what you have to do. If you buy into that pendulum, you buy into that thought form, believing that the only way you're going to be successful is if you get a 4-year degree at a college and go work a job or whatever. If that's what you believe, but that's not really at the core what you want to be doing in life, or that's just not something that resonates with you, but you believe it, you're tapping into that pendulum to all the other people. You may watch the news and you may hear people say, you got to get a job. You parents and family members like, well, if you don't get a job, Johnny, then you ain't going to do stuff with your life or whatever it is. And then you may start to believe it, but the only way that really affects you is if you agree to that reality. If you agree to all these things that all these people are saying, yay, job, college, or whatever it is, right? So what happens is these will affect you as well, and it's almost like then it gives these more gravity, and that may weigh down your energy field. Now, here is the thing. Here's the secret to all self-help. This is the secret to just about everything. Little dramatic pause there. What happens is, the truth is, we are naturally of a very high vibration. We exist at a higher level of consciousness than we can even imagine, but when we identify with our ego, when we identify with our body, that is something that begins to weigh us down. Now, what happens is if we simply observe these thoughts, if we simply observe them saying, you got to get a job and go to college, yay, and that doesn't resonate with you, you got to observe it from a neutral place, because when you observe it, it no longer has power over you, but it has power over you if you agree to that reality. So this is about observing all of these thoughts, because the truth is your natural vibration is very high. And what you do is, as you do that, you let more light into your body. That's why most enlightened people, and even the word enlightenment, is bringing in the light. But guess what? The light is already there. You don't have to bring it in. You just got to let go of all the other stuff that gets kind of boggled in and attached to the energy field. So this is about being aware of that and just letting stuff flow through. Be aware of the emotions as they come up. Be aware of the thought forms that you're having. Be aware of the identifications you have for the way that you see yourself. Be aware of all of that, because the first step is always awareness. Because you may not have been aware before that your thoughts are literally things. But now that you are, what you can begin to do is see this from a new perspective, to say, how and what am I putting out? Now there's this law of the universe. Whatever we sow, we reap. Reaping and sowing. So the key is understand that what we put out is what we get back. If you go into your job, got a coworker there that you don't really like, and what happens is you're putting out negative thought forms to them, and you're thinking about them in a negative way, what will happen is, if they also attach to that or agree to it or somehow subconsciously feel it, that will also be something that grows that negative energy within them. Subconsciously, you may not even know it, but you may be adding and projecting negative energy to them, not even knowing it, because you just dislike them. That is adding to them as well, because our thoughts are literally things. We're literally sending that out. And then what happens is, in a way, since we're putting out that energy will come back to us. Think of it like this as well. There's like an energy bubble that goes around our body. And if we put it out because we're thinking negatively of someone, we may think, well, it's not about me, but it's in your energy field. So what happens is that negative energy may be something you go out into the world and you keep seeing patterns. Because whatever we project out is also something we feel about ourselves. Maybe if you have something negative about someone else, you also think somehow negatively about yourself. Maybe what they represent to you, it's that aspect that you just don't like. It's about integration, about being aware of all this. Because the truth is, all of this stuff is about being aware, and then when we become aware of it, we take our power back. This may sound like out there stuff, but here's the truth. Here's the thing. Even someone like Tony Robbins, for example, who's highly respected, who is one of the most well-known personal development speakers, who studies the science of things, he's even said in interviews before, think about it. He says, think about it. All of the thoughts that you see or all the thoughts people have, there have been thousands of people or over thousands of years who've had the same thoughts. So he's hinted at similar things like this. I've heard many other philosophers, many other people hint at this understanding, but what I want to do is I want to help people understand that this is something that is interwoven within reality that we live in. These thoughts are literally electromagnetic energy, and the patterns that we hold within our energy field are things that we are creating resonance with. We may meet other people that also have a similar resonance, like attracts like, but the key is being aware of that. Because in that awareness is where everything begins to change, because then we start to take our power back. So the truth about this in general is that anything we put out that is negative will come back to us. On the other side of that, anything we put out that's positive will come back to us as well. This is why one of the easiest ways for us to transform our life with our thoughts is to focus on giving love. Love is always the answer, because when we put out love, there is no polarity there. Love is naturally who we are. Love is our natural state of being. Our bodies are filled with light quotient, and when we are putting out love, we are acting in accordance to who we really are. Now, anytime we feel a little bit of a disturbance, we say, that shouldn't be there. Why is this there? All of these little things, we create disturbances within our energy field that then manifest in life with us linking up with certain people that may have the same shit going on. But it's about being aware of that, because in that awareness is where everything begins to change, because then you can allow it, you can integrate it, you can let it go. Being aware of that, because whatever we are allowing through, that is the key, is to allow more light through. That is who we naturally are. The negativity, all of these other things are like ripples on the surface. They don't have to affect us unless we agree to it. But the key to all of this is being aware of it, because unless we're aware of it, it will have power over us. More so than the kind of person we want to become. More so than any of this is us being in the natural high vibration. The moment we have to try to become something we're not is the moment we lower our vibration. We can just be. We can just be authentic to who we are. We can just integrate, allow. By doing this, we raise our vibration. The truth is, any thought form is not as a high vibration as us just being. Of us just being the natural high vibration that we are. Understanding that the light quotient of the kind of light that we are carrying isn't bound by words. That's why sometimes people might be saying affirmations. I am this, I am that, I am this. But words themselves aren't of a very high vibration. Now, it may be higher vibration than other thought forms. There may be some words that are higher vibration than other thought forms or other words. But the key is knowing that being present to the moment, observing these thoughts, is where all the power is, because in the observation of those thoughts and in the simply being, the energy begins to increase. We are naturally of a very high vibration. We grow up being identified with everything that we think of, with thinking that these thoughts are who I am, that I have to become something I am not. And by doing that, we immediately begin to lower our own light quotient. We begin to lower into thinking we have to be different than we are. This is about integration. This is about observation. This is about awareness, because in that awareness, we can then decide what we resonate with and as you put out good energy, and as you really just put out love, because that's who you naturally are, other people will feel that, and what you put out is what you get back. Because once you continue to put out love, which is who you naturally are, there's no room for any of the darker disturbance stuff that can then resonate with other people. It gets to a point to where that begins to go away. Now, here's the thing. There may be a little bit of momentum with what you got currently going on. Switching over to this mentality of being, of observing, of understanding may feel a little bit difficult at first. But the key is to keep going. Because the more you integrate, the more you let it go, the more you allow it to flow through, the more it becomes natural. You may just have some momentum that's going on. We all do. It's okay. Observe it. Let it go. Be aware that your thoughts are literally things. That the more you focus, the more you grow these thought forms, the more it becomes your reality. But in the same way, be focused on love. Be focused on giving. Be focused on what you put out is what you get back, because as you do that, that will dramatically change your life. So, with that being said, if you want to learn how to raise your vibration and how to create from this new paradigm, from really let more of this light quotient in, I have a free guided meditation that will help you to do that. It is absolutely free. You can see it in the bottom of the description box below. Also, I will be doing more live Q&As on Instagram. And if you want to interact with me, if you want to ask me questions, then I'll go ahead and link my Instagram right here as well. I also post daily content over there. And other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to like this video if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the little notification gear next to the subscribe button so that you can see the daily vids that I do. The way YouTube does things now is you actually have to hit that button to see it. I'm sending you lots of thought forms of love right now. I hope you can feel it. And other than that, as always, peace, much love, and namaste.